Apple is bringing back a legendary product that changed the whole world. I know some of you teens and young adults don't even know about this, but today we will take a step back in time and see how Steve Jobs shocked everybody, and everybody was on this new tech. We'll talk about what it is, when it's gonna come out, and how it is going to be affecting the new M2 Max. Let's go ahead and jump right back in time. Back in 1999, Steve Jobs went on stage and showed off the iBook G3. This was a colorful laptop. It looks really funky and weird today, but looked really awesome back then. Go ahead and let me know down below if you're somebody that has used one of these MacBooks. Now, not only did it have unique features like a built-in handle to make it much easier to carry, it also had one secret feature that we'll talk about in a sec. It also had pretty good performance, especially for the price tag, where Apple priced it lower than the competitors while offering a lot more bang for the buck. That kind of sounds like the M1 MacBook Air to me right now, where it's cheaper and better than all of the competition in that category. After Steve gave all of the specs and then showed off different versions of television ads that they would do back in the day, he came out with his legendary.
Well, but there is one more thing. There is one more thing. Let me just show this to you for a minute, okay? Can you come on up here? I just want to show you this working.
He brought a cameraman on stage and proceeded to open up the laptop, and he connected to the internet, which was completely normal. But then he busted out the hula hoop, and the crowd went nuts. So what did he do with the hula hoop? Well, he spun it through and all around the laptop while being connected to the internet. Something that was never done before. Yes, Apple was the very first company to release a laptop with wireless networking. Most of us our age, my age and younger, didn't even know this. And in the following years, they changed the world with this new laptop and this new networking that they were including. Everybody from teachers, students, people at home were switching to Wi-Fi and enjoying the freedom that it gave. Now, in order to make this possible, they needed networking, a Wi-Fi router, to allow people to connect to and to make it easy, which is where this flying saucer comes in. Now, Apple wasn't the first company to make a Wi-Fi router, but they were the ones that really pushed this whole technology forward. The airport base station looked funky, but it gave you everything you need with the modem inside, connectivity with a bunch of devices, good range, very easy to use, and it actually had the fastest speed that just came out for wireless connectivity. It was 10 times faster than before. So if Apple made the first laptop with Wi-Fi and they really revolutionized this whole industry, what's happening today? Well, 4 years ago, Apple officially discontinued their lineup of Airport, Extreme, and Time capsules, which I'll talk about in a sec, and they just dumped this whole market. We're gonna talk about why they did that, why it's coming back and how we know, and how it's gonna affect these brand new Macs coming out, what changes those are going to bring. This info that we have is coming from Majin Buu, and if you're wondering, well, who the heck is that? This is the guy that covers a lot of information, leaks a lot of software stuff that we've actually covered in the past. And if you don't think he's credible, check this out. He was actually the first person to talk about Mixer, software that Apple is developing to bring a macOS-like experience to the iPads that we covered. Now, when this came out, we were hoping that it is true, and then just a little bit later, patents were released and approved showing this whole interface, how you'll be able to connect your iPad to a keyboard and get a macOS-like experience. So Apple's patents backed up what he was talking about in terms of software. Now, on top of that, Steve Troughton-Smith just put out this information talking about WebKit and how it just had extra infrastructure added to allow for a multitasking mode on iOS that looks like it's a system toggle that enables freely resizable windows. Now, we know WWDC is coming out. We are gonna get iPadOS macOS 16, this info is coming up, and they are actually making preparations for it as we see. So here it is, the new hardware, the new leaked information from Majin Buu, and according to his sources, they are seeing from macOS 13 that there should be a version of Time Machine, the backup system for your Macs, that's completely redone. It's going to be integrated with iCloud Drive, and in addition, Apple is expecting to introduce new airports in November. Why would Apple want to do that? Why would they discontinue their airports 4 years ago and then now all of a sudden they're going to be bringing it back? Well, when we take a look back at the airports, they were launching them when we had major changes in technology. The first flying saucer model brought this technology to the masses, and then the Airport Extreme is what allowed for ultra fast speeds and for broadband to be able to be used instead of slow dial-up. On top of that, they made it so easy to set up and to use instead of having to use a web login browser that a lot of them still need now. And then 4 to 5 years later, we had another breakthrough product called Time Capsule. This took your Airport Extreme and your hard drive that you would use for backup and fused them together. This gave people a super easy and reliable solution that was automated and worked on multiple Macs in your house without having to do anything. It was incredible. And then another 4 years later, Apple brought out the latest Airport Extreme design with the trash can Mac Pro that came out right as we got the AC standard that had multiple streams, dual band, beam forwarding antennas, super great range, and it also could include a hard drive for that time capsule backup. So this design was their very last one that they didn't update for a while, and then they ended up canceling. Now, believe it or not, people are still spending a lot of money on this older, outdated tech because it's easy to use, it's reliable, and you have those backups. So why did Apple not really change anything? Well, not much happened in many years after that. The wireless stayed the same, the speeds, many routers are still using those today, and third-party options got so cheap that these were just kind of too expensive for a lot of people. And in fact, even the 2019 Mac Pro and all of the Macs other than the new M1s only support internet speeds as fast as this Airport Extreme. They don't support Wi-Fi 6. Now, recently, Wi-Fi 6 started to come out. The new MacBooks finally support it, but they're still a little bit backdated on the Bluetooth. And we now have Wi-Fi 6E that was released. And people started to spend way more money on their routers. Some of these Wi-Fi 6E routers are incredibly expensive and people are buying them. Hard drives have also gotten much cheaper since Apple came out with a time capsule and we're charging a ton of money for this new technology. And with that, not only has it been 4 years since Apple discontinued the Airport line, but they are also going to be coming out with a new Mac Pro that they talked about, which is right in time for new technology, Wi-Fi 6E, and an Airport Extreme or whatever they want to call it that also enables that technology. Bring me to these new Macs. If Apple's going to put out a new Wi-Fi router, just like we've seen before, every time they released a new one, it was the very newest, latest and greatest Wi-Fi technology, going back all the way to the very first one. This is going to be prime time to switch to this new generation, upgrade all their connectivity, and give users, what they want. Now, along with that leak, we also have the info about iCloud Drive. You've been able to back up your iPads, your iPhones, your Apple Watch, all to iCloud Drive, but on the Mac side, it has only been certain files that if they're deleted online or on your Mac, they get removed, vice versa. So if you have been using that, it doesn't work great. You still have to use Time Machine, and because of that, people are still buying these very expensive, overpriced, old time capsule Airport Extremes to have automatic backups that are off of their laptop without having to plug in a cable. I'm really shocked that Apple has not implemented this yet with iCloud Drive. Now, if they're going to be doing this, maybe they won't put a hard drive in the actual Airport Extreme. Maybe they're going to wrap it up in their bundle bundles, and with that, they might also enable higher capacities. We've been capped at 2 terabytes for a while. Some people even have 2 plans, so maybe they'll go up to 5 and give a larger amount for people to use, especially with family plans, which is the way that I use it. Now with that, a lot of people and publications have been talking about how this is the missing piece from Apple's lineup. People are saying they should bring it back. It makes sense, especially now with these brand new M1 and upcoming M2 powered Macs. So Apple, it seems like, is gonna give people what they want. Now, you guys let me know down below, is this something that you're interested in? Will you buy something from Apple that can be integrated in the whole ecosystem? Or do you already have another solution that works really well for you? I wanna hear your thoughts down below. Go ahead and click that circle above to subscribe. Check out one of those great videos right over there. This has been Max, and I'll see you in the next video.